Happy National Nutrition Month, and I know everyone's excited to learn about what foods are going to help their brain. So real quick question, 8 times 17 is 136. Well, we depend on good healthy brain function, and we're looking to foods to help that function for, of course, our mental ability as we get older, clarity in the moment, performance, like just that little quick math problem that I know some of you got, others of you were reaching for your calculator. We need great memory for just to recall current or just recent past or long time ago past events. We need it for our memory, our mood, and even the prevention of diseases. So before we get started, I've got this fantastic recipe I want to share with you for a strawberry mousse. It's topped with cocoa nibs, which makes it super special. And it has one key ingredient that I think really is kind of the secret home run hitter, and that is chia seeds. Now, while this particular recipe focuses on specific foods, it's important to say that when we think about what gives us brain health, it really boils down to a few simple things that you probably already know or have heard from your doctor or me. You've heard already, and that is maintain a regular exercise pattern. Eat healthfully. Make sure that you maintain a healthy blood pressure in the normal range. And make sure that you don't smoke, as well as if you drink alcohol, drink in moderation. So with that being said, those are the basics for making sure that you're doing what you can to preserve your brain health. So as we get started, there are key areas that I'm going to talk about related to the foods that are in this recipe. I'll talk about water, caffeine, pre- and probiotics, antioxidants, and omega-3 fatty acids. So the ingredients are super simple. We have water in a variety of things. So, of course, strawberries, which are our main ingredient. In addition, water would be in the yogurt. So we know that water is going to be in fruits and vegetables. It's also going to be in dairy products such as milk and yogurt. And now this would not include cheese because that's a little bit more dry, but it's also going to be in hydrated or cooked grains. This would not include popcorn, but it would include things like your morning oatmeal. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with these water-filled berries. I have prepared about a cup of strawberries right here, and these are going to be pureed for starters. Adding that to the blender. Before I turn that on, I want to show you just a couple quick tips about hulling a strawberry. And what I mean by that is just the removal of the greens on top. And I'm just quickly going to pull those greens away, put it on its side. I like to use the chopping block for stability and to make sure that the knife point, as I drive it into the berry, is pointed towards the chopping surface. And then just rotate the berry to remove the hull. I like to do it this way because it minimizes the amount of waste, and I can save the tops of the berries and throw that into water, and that can then infuse and make a really tasty drink. But that's how I did the strawberries. So back to water. Why is water important? Well, we know that 1 to 3% dehydration can actually compromise our brain function. This is really important because we lose just about that amount in our daily activities. In other words, just doing the things we do, we become dehydrated. So it's so important to make sure that we get, women, that's about 10 to 11 cups of water, men just a little bit more, close to 13 cups of water. But we also get water in the foods that we eat. So let's move forward. And I'll just quickly puree these. I've got this beautiful puree of strawberries. I'll just pour it out into this bowl so you can see the thickness as well as the smoothness of this. And you can also see how much liquid is in here. So a pureed cup of strawberries is going to give us about a half cup of liquid. To this, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of chia seed. And chia seed is a great source. Remember, I was going to tell you about omega-3 fatty acids. Great source of what's called alpha linolenic fatty acids. And what's important about these is that they come from plants, and this is nice because a lot of times we think of omega-3s only coming from salmon or fatty fish or seafood, but it's nice to know that there are some plant-based sources, one being the chia seed, but also flaxseed, oils like soybean oil, walnut oil, canola oil, and even a few beans such as soybeans, navy beans, and kidney beans. So I've got the chia seeds incorporated, and if you know anything about chia seeds, I'll show you what this looks like. Ooh, almost lost it there. If you know anything about chia seeds, which are these wonderful omega-3 filled tiny little seeds, is that they have soluble fiber on the outside. And this soluble fiber absorbs liquid and actually hydrates and becomes gelatinous. So this combination of strawberries, pureed strawberries, and chia seed actually need to sit just a little bit, a couple hours to tell you the truth, in your refrigerator covered for them to gel up and to absorb some of that water. So I've kind of taken the liberty to do that in advance, and I just put mine into a jar because I can easily cover it and come back and check it, and it's just a great way to store things in the refrigerator. But here you can see how thick this has become. So wonderful benefits, of course, the soluble fiber, but you get the omega-3 fatty acids. Now, why are omega-3 fatty acids important? Because they can help you regulate your blood pressure, very important. Of course, they can help lower your triglycerides, but in addition, they also are very good for gut health. So I'll just go ahead and have that here and bring the yogurt forward. As I mentioned, yogurt is really important. It contains water. It's going to help keep us hydrated. But in addition, it is going to contain probiotics. So these are those little microbes, the healthy bacteria that we know is in yogurt. We seek them out. We seek out yogurt for those bacteria, and those bacteria actually change our microbiome in our gut. This is really important because we have learned that not only does our brain communicate with our gut, you know that because we think things and we feel certain feelings in our gut, whether it be anxiety or butterflies. But we've also learned that the communication between brain and gut is a two-way street. In other words, it's not just our brain communicating with our gut, but it's also our gut communicating with our brain. And these microbes in our gut play an important role in that communication. So what you're seeing here is I have added those pureed strawberries mixed with the chia seed into just a simple container of plain, low-fat yogurt. This happened to be a Greek-style yogurt. And folding it together, I could even whisk this together. In all actuality, it doesn't have to be super cared for. It's very simple to put together. This really doesn't require a lot of extra beyond just the strawberries and chia seed. Of course, if you wanted to incorporate about a teaspoon of honey, you could absolutely do that, and that would give just a little hint of sweetness. But to this, we're going to top it off with our beautiful cocoa nibs. Now, if you've never experienced cocoa nibs, you can actually get these. I honestly had troubles finding them at my local supermarket. I got them on an online shopping service, you know, the one that begins with a capital A. But these are cocoa beans that have been chopped, crushed, and finally into these little pieces, so you can kind of see what they're like. They're kind of bitter but chocolatey, and really a fun addition to this recipe. So as I mentioned, we were going to talk about water, which we did. We talked about probiotics, and what's nice about this particular recipe is it also contains prebiotics, which is the fiber that feeds those microbes or feeds that bacteria and the microbes in our gut. So as we eat the yogurt, our microbes, the colonies of those healthy microbes in our gut are going to grow. And as we eat things that contain fiber, from the chia seed to the strawberries to all the fruits and vegetables that you enjoy, oatmeal for breakfast, we are feeding that healthy bacteria in our gut. So let's see, I want to go ahead and begin putting this together. I like using mason jars because they are transportable. They fit really nicely into the refrigerator, and I think they make a fun presentation. So adding the mousse directly into the mason jar might be one way that you choose to serve this particular recipe. And I'm just going to kind of tap down some of the bubbles, get that in there about halfway to this, because you can actually take this to work. All it requires is a lid, here we go. So if you have the lid on it, it becomes very transportable and can easily keep in the refrigerator. To this, you can actually add a few strawberries right on top to help round it out, and everything is self-contained in the presentation. Adding a couple strawberries, and then of course the cocoa nibs. Cocoa nibs are going to have just a little bit of caffeine because they are chocolate. Caffeine has been shown to not only contain, or things that contain caffeine like tea and coffee are going to contain flavonoids just like these cocoa nibs. And this has been proven, or this has been shown to provide benefits with mental performance in the short run. Some studies have been done with chocolate, looking at people who consumed chocolate 2 hours before a task, and they found that that actually sped up their ability to concentrate, and it also improved their concentration and memory level. That study was done with young adults. For people between 50 and 69 years old, they looked at consuming chocolate or cocoa over the long run, and they found that people that consumed supplements, this was a cocoa supplement that contained flavonoids. Flavonoids are nothing more than antioxidants with anti-inflammatory properties. They too, over the long run, were able to think more clearly, perhaps experience improved verbal skills. So some benefits with drinking your morning coffee or tea, and including some cocoa, whether it's powdered cocoa that you add to your smoothie or a few cocoa nibs added to your strawberry mousse. Really great idea. So you might have been asking why I included strawberries. Well, obviously we talked about the water, which is a really great reason. They're super hydrated, as all berries are, from blueberries to raspberries. But in addition, berries have been getting a lot of attention for their antioxidant properties and connection with mental acuity. So I'm just throwing a few things into another way that you might choose to serve your strawberry mousse. I've got a very pretty glass here. I'll put a layer of these cocoa nibs right inside. You can see them. I'll put a pretty hefty layer in this particular one so you can kind of see it like a parfait. You can then top that off again with a couple of strawberries, or maybe a very fancy strawberry that you put on the edge. these I think I'll slice and just toss in here. And this strawberry I'll add to the edge. So 2 ways to enjoy this strawberry mousse. Lots of reasons to make it and enjoy it for yourself. So I hope you try it out, and if you do, I would love a little shout out. Let me know how you like it, which berries you would choose to put in there. Would love to hear about it. Anyway, happy National Nutrition Month and have a great day.